10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Come on, everybody sing! Survivor.
Welcome back to The League Has Spoken, episode 29. We are here to discuss week 11 of Survivor 50, and what a week it was. I am here. Bria's not here. It was her birthday on Friday. So, side note, if you didn't wish her a happy birthday, you.
You're dead there.
Yeah, it's too late. But her present is that she doesn't have to do this this week. No, actually, she is currently on a call planning a bachelorette group trip that she is involved in that's coming up. So she, because of the delay in recording, she had a previous obligation. But you know who is here? Kyla's here. Say hi to the people, Kyla.
I'm back. I'm representing Exile Island.
Yeah. I hate the way I've been trying every week. I try to do a different intro, and every week I don't. And I'm like, and Kyla's here now. Speak, and I hate it every time.
You
And
hate
every
what I
week,
say?
no.
Oh.
I feel like I'm like, all right, speak to the people, Kyle, like a dog. And every week I'm like, I'm not going to do it again. And then every week I panic and I do it again.
Well, I
Kyla's here.
panic about what to say every time. It's like a fun fact.
Yes, Kyla's here, and Kyla's no one left on her team. I have Jonathan left on my team, and back by popular demand to most, but not all. We'll get to that. Is my mom. How's it going, Mom?
Hey, you guys finally, can I say anything about, people still on the tribe yet or no?
Yeah, whatever.
I'm here because mostly everybody was smart enough to finally vote Emily out.
Yes. Yes.
Spoiler alert.
No, that was last week. That already happened, wasn't it? No, that was this week. It all blends together. We're at the part of the season where my brain has turned to mush.
Hey, when you get to my age, you can just shout out whatever you want.
Oh, well, let's not test fate with that. Like where this is going.
Get your bleeper ready.
Yeah, we got to get going because my mom is here for a good time, not a long time. We're on a time crunch tonight. So, but before we get to spoilers, Mom, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention your long-standing feud with Greg, which goes back to episode 1 of this show, which I believe started just because he sent you to fire making instead of the sanctuary.
Was that this season or last season?
That was like a year ago.
Yeah.
That was so long ago. And then you made me paste his face over that video of Philly Karen, and then it's all been back and forth since then. I told you not to tempt fate today, Mom, because
whatever.
I'm gonna send it to both of you. Hold on. I'm gonna start a group chat with Kyla and my mom. Someone dropped by with a message. Left a message for you. It's sending now. Okay, I believe it's sent. Did you get it?
Yep.
Mom, did you get it?
I can hardly wait.
All right, I'm gonna have you press play in Three. Mute your. No, don't mute yourselves. I'm gonna have you press play in three, two, one.
Hello, Heidi. That's my Jerry Seinfeld Hello Newman bit. I want to start off by wishing you a happy Mother's Day because I have met your son and he's just terrible. So you deserve every bit of celebrating that he hopefully gave to you on this past weekend. It has also not escaped me that you have indeed passed me in the team rankings, but you are still behind
Damn right.
the other team Knight, Team Brenna. She is in first place, so being the supportive husband that I am cheering her on valiantly from the sideline and letting her team take charge. So we still wish nothing but despair and demise for your team, which I can't even pronounce the name. Team it basically looks like puke that you fell asleep on the keyboard trying to spell the word puke. So good luck to us and bad luck to you.
I felt like that was George Costanza. Good luck to us and bad luck to you.
You had nothing else to say?
Oh, no, I do. All that really matters is that he's behind me. I'm all for if Brenna wins, great, as long as Greg doesn't.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
You don't have anything to say, Patrick, about him saying you are terrible?
No.
Oh.
That's by nature of being the league commissioner, I'm going to catch a couple strays. That's just, you gotta, a vice principal once told me to do this job, you got to learn to take a couple FUs. So I'm going to take it on the chin and keep going. All right.
Okay.
Spoiler warning goes up now. So let's get into a crazy episode. Beach Life starts, and I'm going to tell you right away, Rizzo is starting to show that he's been out there for 45 days straight. He looks stoned. Some of us, your mom, you're not in our group chat that Kyla, Bree, Mikey, Megan, and I have for just like people that contribute to the show. But someone put up a side by side of him before 49 started and him now, and it is bleak.
Yeah.
He looks rough.
Looks like a war survivor.
Yeah. Aubrey then goes to Rick and goes, Rick's doing my dirty work for us, and we're like a bunch of devious cockroaches, which I found ironic because she had the grossest teeth I've ever seen on Survivor. And then I'm going to turn it over to you in a second, but then she reveals that it's going to be like a punching match. And I think she meant boxing match because I don't think anyone's ever been in a punching match. But she's ready to fight. Did anyone have thoughts on Aubrey at the start of this?
Not really.
No, she was kind of under my radar at this point, but now she's kind of unhinged.
Yeah. I know the only reason I was listening a little is because I believe last pod, maybe you talked about Aubrey supposedly making a big move sometime soon. So she's kind of on my radar because of that, but Devers was like acting crazy. He was excited.
He was doing everything I wish Q would have been able to do had he been on the island still.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready to wind up.
Speaking of Devins, he reveals that his idol is good until the final 7, not the final 6, which to me signals there's going to be some sort of insane twist coming up. Because usually it's good until like there's no more tribals, which seems like an obvious thing. So the fact that they're pulling it back makes me think, oh, something's afoot. And then we get a great montage for like 2 minutes straight of just Devins dancing through the woods.
Yeah, I liked it.
That was
very excited.
It was real good. It didn't match, I think, the vibe of the rest of the episode. But he's at the water well, he's in the ocean, he's by the fire, he's doing all sorts of, it's crazy. He's doing heel clicks. So we got a lot of beach this episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we cut through the opening credits, which are growing on me. think earlier in the season I said I was pretty meh on them. They're growing on me. And Suri tries to set Joe straight because
Oh my
Joe's doing his
gosh.
whole thing where he's like, what's with all these moves and lies, and Joe's doing Joe things, and Suri's like, I'm gonna get him out. I think she says, what does she say? She says Joe lives at 500 Hypocrisy Hill or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
And then Tiff starts talking about how exhausted by Joe she is. So
Yeah,
everyone pretty much, I mean, solidified Megan and Mikey's complaints about Joe right here in this
yeah,
montage.
I get it. I like Joe, but this is not a good season for Joe. This is not, if you would never seen, like Mikey has never seen Joe play before, this is not a
Yeah.
good viewing of Joe, I feel.
Well, his eyes are always bugging
Like
out
bugging
too.
out.
Yeah.
So we get that. Then Tiff tells Suri we got to target Rizzo and Ozzy, which is a risky move.
Yes, this is the first person that we haven't seen Suri automatically turn around on when she mentions Ozzy or Rizzo. This is the
Yeah.
second time Tiff has brought up one of them, and
Yes.
Suri did not immediately turn
Get her
on
out.
her. Yep.
Now, is Tiffany on that? Not to flash too far ahead, but is Suri and Tiffany, are they on the same group that goes to tribal? Okay,
They
well
are.
then never mind. It stands. What you said stands for sure. I was gonna say, did she have a chance? But she did. Mom, you've never seen Suri play before,
I
and
haven't, but she does seem to be, I guess you would call it playing in the middle because she's friendly with everybody. And I know she has that day one alliance with Ozzy, but I wasn't sure if it was real or not. When Tiffany mentioned we have to start getting out the people with the idols, and Suri, I think it was just her in the camera afterwards saying, I do have to start looking out for these people can save themselves. I don't know. I have to start thinking about when to get them out. And I wasn't sure if she was just agreeing with Tiffany at that point or she actually thought, yeah, we probably should.
so I'll give you some history on that, Mom. One of the seasons she played was Game Changers, and you can probably see why she would be asked to play that season because she's unbelievable. She's so great. Um, in that season, she became the only person I think ever to be voted out only because there was no other option. It was
Oh,
like,
yeah, they referenced that in
yeah.
this. They showed a little
So
clip.
she was in a group of like 5 or 6, and like 2 of them had an immunity necklace, and there was like the rest of them had some sort of idol or advantage that allowed them to be safe automatically. So literally the only person who was eligible to be voted for was Suri, and that was the only reason she was voted out. She wasn't even a target. But it happened to be like she literally was in a group with like 5 people that had immunity, and she got basically screwed by that. So hence her being wary of, well, I can't be around, a group of 3 and I'm the only one without protection.
But in that scene, she does, because I rewatched this today, just because I completely forgot what happened, if I'm honest. So when I rewatched it, I realized because the first time I thought, oh my God, she's gonna turn on Ozzy, like she wants to turn on him. But when I rewatch, if you notice, she actually says she wants to be the one to warn Ozzy. So
Mm,
what she's saying is she wants to flush the idol. She doesn't want to be the
yes,
last person in her alliance without an idol, but
Mhm.
she's okay with voting Ozzy as long as she gets to warn Ozzy so that he can flush his idol. And then she also gets credit for helping Ozzy,
yes,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
right.
smart.
Right.
which
Yep.
is
Yeah,
smart, which is
Hmm.
smart.
yes, this is very smart. We love Suri for that. Um,
And then we go to Ozzy, right?
yes, yeah,
And
and
he
then
had a nightmare.
yeah, Ozzy wakes up from a nightmare and he's like, "I'm not going home with a Billie Eilish boomerang souvenir," which I thought was a great line and poetic for what goes on to happen later, but great.
Yes.
Um, we then get letters from home round 2, and it's mostly an Ozzy sequence.
Yeah, this is
Did you
so
not like
weird.
this?
Just how the episode played out looking back, this was a weird scene.
Well, I think it's because, I mean, obviously the editors know what's going to happen later, so they're like, we got to showcase, because Ozzy's whole thing is like he wants to learn and play differently. He wants to play like Oscar, which I thought was so like beautiful and poetic. And you could totally see that in literally every moment of the game up until we got back from the immunity challenge. He was doing a great job of that. And then the one time in the season that he stops playing like Oscar and he starts playing like Ozzy, he literally starts to repeat the exact same thing he did last time.
Yeah.
And then we get Tree Mail. Tree Mail is back. They do Tree Mail before every challenge, or like every day. Did you know that? But they never show it anymore.
And they don't show it anymore.
Yeah, the early seasons, it's like they have a
It's
whole
a big deal.
20-minute sequence on Tree Mail, I feel like. Tree Mail's back, and I think the reason they don't show it anymore is because everyone immediately figures out what the challenge is before they even get there. They're like, oh, pyramids in the water. Boom, done. And I wrote, I think Tiffany is the only one who's done this challenge in the famous, which is not true, but the famous season 46 challenge where they're on the water, and Q is trying to pass the time by playing the alphabet game, and everyone is making fun of him, pretending they don't know how to play, and he keeps getting madder and madder. But Jonathan has also done this game.
Yes.
It turns out.
Yes.
On the stormiest seas you could possibly imagine, which brings us to the immunity challenge. Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
let's do it.
Take it away, Kyla.
All right, so I'm gonna play this out just like the episode did, and we're gonna talk about the what you win at the end because I think it just makes sense with this discussion wise. So the person who is winning is going to win a unknown advantage that will go with the twists later in the episode. So I don't think I need to kind of explain it. Pat has it as his background here. If you're watching on YouTube, it's little pyramids floating in the water. There are two little spots for feet to be on, and then there's the top of the pyramid will also be the last spot. And through incremental times, we'll move up. I actually don't think they say the times in here at all.
I thought the first one was 5 minutes, and the second one was like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
I'm kind of surprised there's not more levels to it because it's kind of like pretty quickly. They're like, I guess we'll go to 1 foot now.
Yeah, and
I guess
we'll
you can't
see.
make it that big, right? Because
I would have
then it would just
expected
topple
3.
over.
I
think
would, yeah.
if it was stormier, it would have been harder.
Like it was when Jonathan did
It's
it.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy calm, I think.
Yes.
And I was thinking about when people fall off into the water, you don't even see that much ripples happening, to the pyramids, yeah, because they're pretty close.
Can I say they are pretty close? And when they're falling off, I was wondering if there's some kind of rule, like you got to swim out away, because if you fell towards somebody else, you could cause them to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching for it. Doesn't really happen.
No.
So pretty much everyone makes it to everyone makes it to the second section except that's where we get our first person out during the transition, which is Sari.
She actually struggling the whole time.
Yeah.
You can even see it in my photo. Everyone's like, try to back up.
She's hunched over, and that's basically how she goes down, right? She like doesn't fall off. She just kind of grabs the center and takes herself out. There was kind of a weird little interaction about Jonathan's always talking about his big feet.
Too.
Yeah.
Like his quote was, "They're not fat, they're girthy."
Emily said that to him.
Oh,
which makes it weirder.
Oh, I like that even less.
Yes, Emily says it.
That's on brand for her.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan says, "I like him," or something like that. It's something weird. But then everyone actually makes it to the top of the pyramid too, which is just I was just surprised. But Aubrey falls before being able to actually stand up. So this is a live transition. I think we said that. So that means the first 2 folks are out during transitions. Devers is out pretty quickly next. But then all the rest.
Yeah. I wrote that Rizzo looked really good up until this point.
Yeah.
For all the talk
Yeah.
we have about him being horrible at challenges, which is
For,
true, he was pretty good at this one.
for Rizzo, excellent job. But here's where Rizzo's going to fall out because we're going to have to transition into a 1-footer. He's the first person to fall out, and actually, again, pretty impressive. Because it's like one after another.
Like
It's
dominoes.
Rizzo falls, Ozzy falls, Joe falls, Emily, Jonathan, and then Tiff
Which
is
is
the
your
last one
challenge kick of the
standing.
week is there's this like super cut of everyone hitting the water like immediately.
Nice. And then we swim over. We're about to do the whole ceremony, and then suddenly a boat's pulling up. Jeff is like, wait, we got production talking. Turns out Tiff didn't actually lift her foot in time whenever she was supposed to during that live transition to a 1 foot. And Jonathan actually ends up taking the
He
win
was
for
the last
this.
one up that, yeah. When that
The
happened,
last fall, last to the water, yeah.
you watched ahead of us. Bree and I were watching on a delay, and Megan and Mikey were like behind us. And I think I immediately texted you and I was like, Mikey's gonna be so pissed. Because not
Yeah.
only did Tiff not get it, Jonathan won.
Yeah.
That's like his nightmare. I think you
Yes.
hated it too, right?
Huh?
You did not like that either?
Well, of course I want Tiff to win. I'm a Tiff supporter now. I
Hmm.
got Tiff endeavors right now. Those are my people.
In your mind.
Just I like them. I'm
I
not
have
cheering on anyone. I'm not saying anyone's winning.
I have Jonathan, so this worked out quite well for me, but I felt a little bit guilty. Mom, who do you
How do
do?
you feel about it,
Yeah,
Heidi?
who do you have left?
So
You have at this point you
as
have
of this
Emily and
point,
who?
I had Emily, Jonathan, and Joe.
Oh, so you're
Oh,
I
great.
did feel bad for Tiff, and I gotta say she took it like a champ because I'm assuming she didn't have the benefit of looking at the replay, and the replay clearly showed, and it just made me wonder, like, how many times do judges or whatever, the production crew, interfere with what's going on?
mm,
I mean, clearly she didn't win.
yeah.
The last time I remember, in 48, there's like a challenge that ends on like a mini arch puzzle. They're all doing individually, and they give it to Joe at first, but then they go back to the tape and they point out that Camilla beat him by like half a second. So then they reverse and give it to Camilla, but it wasn't a disqualification. It was like a correction
Yeah.
like this. I haven't watched every season, so I don't remember a time where they've straight up disqualified someone like that. But that's not to
Hmm.
say it's not happened.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. And then we find out what Jonathan's advantage is.
Yes, and what is the advantage, Kyla?
So we find out that the rest of the tribe is going to be split into two groups of four. And Jonathan's going to not only get to go to the beach with both tribes, he's going to get to cast a vote in both tribals. So one person from each group is going to get voted out. Pretty
Yes.
crazy twist.
And the groups are, I believe, I have them written down here, thank God. Group one is Tiffany, Emily, Sari, and Devens. So you have,
Blue.
so you have an extra vote and an idol on that group. Devens has an idol. And the other group is obviously everyone else, which is Joe, Ozzy, who has an idol, Rizzo, who has an idol, and Aubrey, who, as she has previously admitted, is psychotic. Um, that's not a legal advantage in the game, but it is uncomfortable to be around. So how do you want to do this, Mom? You're the guest.
Well, first, here's the worst part of the whole episode. And now I haven't heard Tea Time or Mikey Moves of the Week, so I hope I'm not
I'm
interrupting
gonna stop you
anything.
right there. No one has because they didn't text me about the
Okay.
call. They don't exist.
The worst part of the whole episode is when we get a confessional from Jonathan and he's talking about how great this is, how good it is. And every time he says good, he flexes his little pecs. He can't quit doing it. And then when we get back from commercial and we're at the beach and he's talking to, I think, Tiff, and he's flexing his little pecs again. It was really creepy. I didn't like that. No one else
What?
caught that?
He
What
also
I
made the immunity necklace dance. Is it a Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yes. He goes, you
And he
ever see
called
a
him a phoenix
Phoenix
this time.
Panther?
It wasn't like episode 1 where he's like, "Oh, rooster," or whatever he said.
It was like every time he got excited. Oh, I did not like
It's
that.
interesting that we've made it to episode 11. You're like, here's the line I'm going to draw in the sand with Jonathan. Because Mikey jumped off that ship immediately. Megan took a few more episodes, but she is not a Jonathan fan. I like Jonathan. I'm also not gonna defend the things he says or does. I've never accused him of being the most strategic person on the island. I think you can't be upset at him because he is what you think he is. So why be shocked when he then does something stupid? It's like, oh man, the guy that's here because he's just really strong is doing things that you would suspect someone who's just really strong would do. But anyway, I digress.
Okay, now we can go to the beach.
Yeah, so let's go to the beach. Mom, I'm gonna try and facilitate this so that we can do one group and then the other group. There's gonna be a point where they overlap quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll give you the choice. Which group do you want to start with?
The girls
Whatever
or
you
the
want. I
boys?
guess we'll start with the ladies.
All right, the ladies and Devons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what happens in the episode anyway. So Jonathan wants to talk about getting Devons and Emily out. Which I think is smart on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be fair, there's very few people Jonathan could bring. If you're looking at forget about, I had this conversation with Bree today. Forget about everyone's ability to articulate their own game at Final Tribal, which is certainly a weakness of Jonathan's.
Absolutely.
If you assume he could pull it out in the end, if he could get there and at least hold his own, which he probably can't, but whatever. He's got to start looking at who the targets are, that have had better games. And Devins is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Now, pretty much everyone besides maybe Aubrey is on that list that he's probably got to get out. Maybe Aubrey and Joe have done less than him. But so he wants to take out Devins and Emily. Emily kind of reads this pretty well. She reads the situation and she's like, why wouldn't it be me? Just because it should be Devins, but he has an idol and he's not stupid, so he'll play it. And she's like, I'm going to put myself in maybe two different positions, which I thought was really, really smart on her part. And it almost works. Option 1 is she's going to try and manipulate Rick's idol to be played on her and kind of work in some uncertainty into Rick, they're going to vote for me, so you got to play it for me. And then because you're trying to make this big move and you want to make your idol count, you're going to have to play it. You don't want to waste it. So she's kind of working that angle, which is smart. And she's working on telling everyone else that Rick's going to play the idol on her. And so they should then, she's kind of working both sides of it. And I thought it was really, really, really smart. She kind of puts herself she gives herself options out of nothing. And it was the first time I thought that she showcased why she is on 50, is because she has the ability to do that.
Yeah. I like this move by Emily. I thought it was possible. I mean, and it could have actually worked if it weren't for an advantage at play.
To work. I thought her downfall was she talked too much at Tribal.
Yes.
She said too much.
We'll get to that. Believe me, we will get to that.
All right, sorry. Yeah. Once again, big surprise, Emily talked too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mom's not an Emily fan. The Emily season, I believe, was that the first season you had watched, Mom, in a long time?
No, I watched a season. She was on, I think, a Yellow Tribe, and she was annoying.
No, sorry, that's what I meant. The first season she played was I think that was the second season I had watched. And me and I were like, you have to watch the season because this girl votes herself off because she needs a cigarette and this other guy falls off the boat. And Emily's on that tribe. Yes. Yeah,
and she's horrible. But she tried to outdo herself. I know it was a while ago, but I still crack up at let's see, Christian told her a secret and somebody walks up, maybe it was Ozzy, and before you can breathe, she blurts out the secret. Shut up. Just stop talking.
Now, you did pick her, though, to be clear. She was not assigned to you.
I know. Uh, and I don't really like drama, so I don't know why I picked her.
You've told me that you fast forward to just the challenge and tribal because you're like, I don't want any of this drama stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, I think that's what's irking me about Joe. Like, dude, this is
Mm.
Survivor. It's drama.
Which is crazy because you just said that you don't want that. Joe is
I
for
know, but
you. Joe plays how you watch Survivor. He does nothing except for the challenges. Oh, anyway, so that looks like a good plan. Um, except for the fact that Suri again has this flashback. She's like, I'm not going out like last time. If I need to use my extra vote, we'll see if something tips me off.
yeah.
Yep.
So we'll get back to Suri in a second, but we go over to the other beach now. It's unavoidable. And it seems like an easy vote on Aubrey with Joe, Ozzy, and Rizzo voting for her. And Jonathan. I don't know why no one said Joe. He has no protection, right?
Yeah, but aren't they
Yeah,
in
but
this?
he's also annoying.
Weren't they in a group now? The four guys are, remember how it used to be the four horsemen, and then after Coach
But
left and they got the
yeah,
four
but
They brought
guys.
Rizzo
Ozzy
in.
wasn't a part of that. Oh, I just disappeared. Ozzy
No,
wasn't a part of that.
but the only thing that Ozzy has been doing lately is him and Jonathan have had like a little thing.
Yeah, the little bromance.
I actually wrote that when they go over to this pink beach, like it almost is like a comedy scene. Like Ozzy's just talking.
Oh
He's
my
got a
God.
lot of attention this episode. He's like saying that this is his best scenario. He loves the way that the groups broke out. Like he starts just talking
And
I thought,
too
he
much.
decides to talk to Aubrey. And I don't have Ozzy, but I like Ozzy. I was screaming at the TV because this is exactly what Andy did to Rachel in season 47. He gives her this whole speech about, hey, it's you, and that's real sad, but you know what?
Hmm.
We're best friends. So when I put you on the jury, you're gonna vote for me, right? And she's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then wouldn't you know it, Andy goes home and Rachel basically gives him the middle finger on the way out. And Ozzy does the same thing to Aubrey. What are you doing? I
I
get
was just like,
there's jury management
why?
and there's telling people you're going to vote them out. Like you can't jury manage by telling them, "Hey, good game. This is your last day." Like that's not how you.
I think
Oh.
Ozzy was just still emotional from reading the letter. He just he flipped this whole game around, and I think it was really too bad that Suri wasn't in the group with him because she would have told him to just shut up.
Yeah.
All of this happened because Suri wasn't there. Absolutely.
Yep.
He
And
doesn't know how to act without her.
even without Suri being there, she still almost saved him. So
Right.
as Ozzy is shooting himself in the foot over and over and over again, Jonathan is playing about as strategic as he's ever played. And I did write the caveat that to be fair, he is protected, so it's not like it's high risk, high
Right.
reward for him. I just, it's nice to see the big strong man using his brain a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. Every episode, he like gives a sliver of like I can think too, just a
But
sliver.
he doesn't see the most obvious thing.
I said a sliver. I didn't say he nailed it. I said she reminds you that he could if he tried, but he won't.
Yeah.
And then we get this montage where like Jonathan's now going back and forth between both beaches, and Cerie's like running both beaches, even though she's stuck on one because she turns Jonathan into her messenger, and she's sending messages to Ozzy through Rizzo and she's convincing all these people to keep Ozzy around, and she basically saves Ozzy. And I did write there's I don't know if you saw this. There's a cut of when Jonathan's walking back now to Ozzy's beach, and they smash cut like Ozzy's face over the horizon, like he's the sun from the Teletubbies.
No, I didn't
He's
see
walking
that.
across the beach, and like one of those Sears awkward family photos, and Ozzy's face is just like
Yes.
half transparent in the background. Um, it's amazing. Um, And Jonathan does exactly what Suri tells him and tells Rizzo to tell Ozzy, which I feel like
Well,
doesn't
well, Joe puts that in Jonathan's mind, though. Jonathan doesn't come up with that.
he doesn't. Thank
No,
God you watched this again.
so yeah, so they're sitting on the beach, and when Jonathan talks to Joe, Joe wants to play a straight game. So he goes, "We have to tell Rizzo. We need the numbers." And Jonathan said, "We
Mm,
don't need the numbers." And Joe said, "But we need him like for future. So we got to tell Rizzo." Jonathan doesn't want to tell Rizzo. Good move. But then he talks to Suri, and Suri says, "I think you should tell Rizzo." And then he goes and tells Joe to
thank
talk to
you.
Rizzo, and Joe talks to Rizzo. Jonathan doesn't even talk to Rizzo.
Thank you. And then once again, we end up in a situation where Rizzo's holding all the cards.
Yeah.
And he decides not to tell him, which
Yeah.
we'll get into. I think it was a good move.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. We will see how it plays out next episode. But we also need to remember that earlier in the episode, Jonathan told Rizzo that sorry, not Jonathan. Aubrey told Rizzo that he told Aubrey everything. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's such
Sorry.
it's
I
a
feel like
game
I'm
of
saying that weird.
it's hard to like run down because it's like a
Yeah.
game of telephone, but yeah.
Basically, Rizzo knows that Ozzy spilled the beans about him and Suri being number one alliances. And he
Yes.
also knows that he also told Aubrey about Suri's extra vote. So I think Rizzo's like, you got a big mouth.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's smart for Rizzo's game, and I think he makes the right call. I think he makes the call that Suri would have made if she knew that, because Suri does all this manipulation of both beaches without knowing that Ozzy is shooting himself in the foot.
Yeah. Yep.
It's
That
too bad because all they really needed to do at that beach was sleep.
yeah.
That's all they needed to do. No one needed to talk to anybody. They just needed to go back there and catch a nap, and
Mm,
that was it. But the more they talked, the worse it got.
that's true. Well, speaking of the more they talk, the worse it gets. Let's go to tribal. So here's your chance, Mom, to talk about Emily, because we're going to start with that was the first tribal that happens. So we're going to go to this tribal again. This is Tiffany, Suri, Emily, Devins, and Jonathan. I also I love all the moments where the jury like you'd think the jury would know more about what happens because like they're at Ponderosa. You think someone before they walk in, someone would be like, "Hey, this is what happened today. Here's the facts." Now you see how they present it. They just
All
let the
shock.
jury figure it out, which is interesting. So they're like, "Where's the rest of everyone?" Like they're trying to figure out what's happening. And Emily starts very reflective. I thought starts. I get ahead of Mom before she starts screaming. I was like, Emily's doing a good job. She's thinking about her previous game. She's doing the things that like Ozzy was doing at the start of the episode, which I guess should have been a red flag for me. Rick jumps in and he almost broadcasts the plan. And that's when Emily's like, I'll take it from here. Mom, would you like to I'll give you the floor to let loose?
Well,
Maybe
I
drop an
think
F-bomb.
also because she makes a big point about it being the same day when she was the last time she was on that she gets
Day
voted out.
21.
Yeah, I get it. It's a lot of pressure. And this really was a chance for her to make a big move because up until now, I think she's just been a blabbermouth, which is not what you go on Survivor. I mean, if anything, if she had continued on that, her move for convincing everybody to win is like, hey, I told all your secrets and you still didn't get rid of me, so shame on you.
Mm.
But she keeps talking and I think Jeff picks up on things because he just lets them keep talking and talking and talking. And I can't remember exactly what she said, something to the effect of, and we have a plan and we'll see if everything works out. And it was one sentence she said, and it caught Suri, and she
You can
looked at her.
see the second she decides to use the extra
That was,
vote.
Yep.
she looked at her and you could see she's like, okay, I'm bringing out my other vote. You could see it right away. And Emily kept talking. And I think she can't read a room.
No, no.
She should have just stopped talking.
I have nothing else to say that you didn't already say, Kyla.
No.
Yeah, well said, Mom. So this group goes to vote. Of course, we're not done with this tribal because this group goes to vote, and then they come back. I don't remember if they show any of the votes or not. I honestly don't really care because it's what happened next that is really exciting. So Devins plays his idol on himself. Not a shock. Smart move, to be honest.
Mhm.
Someone in his position. Then they're reading the votes, and it's like one for Emily, one for Suri. Second one for Suri, and as soon as he says the second one for Suri, but he's not like the next person voted out is Suri. You can kind of see it start to click with Emily and Devins. And then he goes, there's one more vote left. And they're like, they do the opposite of like earlier. Suri was like, oh, I'm playing my extra vote. Like, this is the moment I know I'm going to have to play it. They have the reverse moment where they're like, this is the moment we know we're in serious trouble because this does not match the number of people that are here. And Suri votes Emily a second time. And now we're going to have to go to a tiebreaker. And a reminder for everyone at home that so in a tiebreaker, anyone who was immune, so like Devon's played an idol, he now cannot be voted for, which means you have two votes that are being reallocated somewhere. Usually, this is controversial, usually the people that are tied, because you can now only choose between Suri and Emily. Usually the people that are tied don't vote again because you can't vote for yourself and you can only vote for the other person, so those votes cancel out. But I think because Suri had the extra vote, they were like, rather than like let Suri go up and vote once, but then take away her second vote and then Emily doesn't go up. I think they were just like, the math works
Everyone
out
vote.
if we just let them go again. Because there's a lot of people being like, why were they allowed to vote? But I think it's because Suri would have been allowed to vote twice. I didn't really know that the extra vote carries over as well, but I guess it makes sense.
I didn't
That's what
either.
I was thinking too. I didn't know either because, yeah.
I guess it makes sense. But yeah, so there's no majority vote on the first one, and they re-vote, and Emily is going home 4-2.
I think she knew it as soon as they said there's a revote.
Oh yeah,
She knew it right away. And hey, all right, she tried something, it didn't work. Okay, better than just what happens next.
Yeah.
yes.
She went down kicking.
Yeah, she gave a great effort. Honestly, her plan would have worked had Suri not had this extra vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
It would
not
have.
or not been smart enough. I think without Suri getting idled out in Game Changers, I think she goes home this time too because she had such an extreme thing in the past happen to her that she's like, I'm not letting that happen again.
Yeah.
So good for Suri. And Emily doesn't even get to leave and go to Ponderosa to clean up. They're like, just go sit on the bench. We got another one of these coming.
Joins right away.
Yep. So now we're doing Tribal 2. Jonathan stays. Everyone else, or Suri, Devins, and Aubrey leave, which is an odd trio. Or sorry, Suri, Devins, and
No,
Tiffany.
Tiffany's
Thank you.
there.
Yeah. So the other group's walking in and they see Emily voted out. So they're all doing their like, oh, that's crazy or whatever. And Rizzo comes in and you can tell he's kind of thinking about how he's gonna have to play this already back at camp because he's like, I'm voting out Ozzy, but Suri is still here. So I'm already gonna have to, like, I know I have to figure out what's going on. And I made a note, even with all the brain rot he has from 46 days straight of Survivor, he's a great speaker. It's why I honestly think he has a good shot at winning the game, assuming he can navigate next week. Just because if he gets to Final Tribal, he's now had an idol with all these legends and not had to play it. He's been on the right side of every vote. And he has like the ability to like make his story compelling.
Plus, he has almost next to no chance of winning a immunity necklace.
Yes.
He's not gonna win a challenge unless everyone
not
else
threatening.
passes out. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So he can get, which is crazy because at the beginning of the season in the pre-show press, they're like, who are you already worried about? And everyone was like Savannah and Rizzo because we don't know anything about them. They're here for a reason. Get them out. So the fact that he's in position to win is crazy. Ozzy has an amazing moment of reflection which he will immediately throw out the window shortly. And I can't finish this one. Kyla, you take over.
The only two things I wrote about this tribal was Ozzy talking about his trusting instincts and how he was going to play his idol a few episodes ago. But then he wouldn't have it for later in the game. And I'm sitting here thinking, you need it right now, buddy. And he still makes it pretty clear he's not going to play it tonight. In that statement, at least to me. And then Aubrey talks about how both her and Ozzy have grown through their times playing this game, and she feels like for her, she's a much less anxious player now. Um, and that's pretty much all I wrote here. They go on to vote. It's Ozzy. He knows it the second time his name is read. Um, I thought it was interesting about how much I think Jonathan talks about how much he respects Ozzy before going into this vote, and then pretty quickly he's not so integrity anymore. I don't know. It's just this whole integrity thing really gets to me every time Jonathan does something like this. So um
I said I wasn't going
yeah.
to defend Jonathan. I will say one thing, and I could be wrong, so please fact check me.
Yeah.
Has he said honor integrity, or have we all been putting that on him? Because I know Joe
Mm,
has been a part of that in his season. That was like the whole theme of
yeah.
48. We hated it. Coach has definitely said it, and definitely said it without realizing he's the least honorable
Hmm.
person out there. Colby has probably said it. Jonathan's in that group. I'm not disagreeing with that. Has Jonathan ever said, "I'm going to play this with honor"? He might have, and I could be wrong.
You know what?
I don't remember it.
I don't know, and you call a good point that could he just be aligning himself with those people because that's what he needs to do. And in this episode, he did step back and say, "It's kind of funny that Ozzy doesn't realize I'm coming after him. I've been coming after him for three episodes now."
Yeah.
I do remember that Jonathan said something to Dee about I've never lied to you or I have never not told you the truth. But otherwise, I think he's just hanging around with the honor and
Yeah, I
integrity.
think he's just in that group.
I
Yeah.
think he does try to hold other people to it, though.
Yeah, that's fine. But you know what? That's other people's weakness. And besides Joe, everyone that he's been able to hold that to has gotten out because of it.
True.
I
So,
was I was
All right, you
honestly
might have
shocked.
something.
I was honestly shocked that Ozzy was so hurt. I trusted you guys. You're
I
on Survivor. Come on.
well, I think what it is, Mom, is once again in a bit of reverse history. Sari had a great moment of like playing her vote. So what happened to her in the past didn't happen to her. This
Yeah.
is literally pretty much exactly what happened to Ozzy last time he played. He went out around this time of the game. He was betrayed by his closest allies with an idol in his pocket. And so he's sitting there going, I tried to play different this time, and literally the exact same thing happened to me. I just think he couldn't believe it that he had like that moment of I think he knew. It's when I talked to Aubrey, it was a moment of weakness,
Yeah.
and he knew it was his own fault.
Was it my imagination or did I see Coach give a little cheer?
I don't know. I try not to watch Coach ever for any
I might
reason.
have to go back and look and see about that. I think you're right, Pat, and I think it's everything he had just stated before they went into vote happened again, right? He said,
Mhm.
"Oh, I was going to use my idol and I glad I didn't." Well, you should have used it. And
Mhm.
oh, I trusted all the wrong people last time I played and didn't trust the right people. And he thinks he's doing everything right this time around. He's just
Yeah, he's not.
only doing it right when Cerise's around to watch him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. Fate stepped in and said, yeah,
Mm.
she's your protection.
Your angel's not
Mhm.
here with you
Yeah.
tonight,
And
and neither is Rizzo.
one more thing on Jonathan, because I just thought of it, even though I said I wouldn't. I'm not disagreeing that the people that are playing with quote unquote honor integrity are annoying. But if the number one complaint is these people need to start playing and doing something interesting, but then they backstab someone or like let someone else take a fall or do someone interesting, and then everyone jumps on them like you're a hypocrite. It's like we all also can't have it both ways, can we? Like because you know what's going to happen the second Joe backstabs someone, everyone's going to be like, "You're a liar." But it's like we've also been asking you to do this for 12 episodes, so I just
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's not annoying. I don't disagree with that. I just at some point it's like whatever. to me.
I think for me specifically, the Jonathan and Ozzy of it, this one specifically, is that I've been in particularly playing up this potential thing that's going on between Jonathan and Ozzy because I've been seeing it. And so you know what? Give Jonathan props, I guess, that maybe that was his strategy all along, is get close to Ozzy so that he doesn't realize he's the one stabbing him in the back.
He can't beat Ozzy, so he had to get him out at some time. So.
Yeah.
I think he says that to him. I think he says that. Like,
He says, I was never going to beat you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say one thing before I really have to go, but one thing I really like about this season is you can't predict it. Like, they change things so much. Like, even this last episode where, okay, you're going to draw rocks to divide into 2 groups of 4 rather than let them pick. I mean, there's so many twists that are not in the norm that I think it makes it really hard to have 100% know your alliance because you may not be with them in something.
Yes.
And I actually like that they keep changing it up. And I think is his name Devins? Devers?
Devers.
Devins.
Okay,
it's
whatever.
Devins. Kyla can never remember it. It's Devins.
Okay. So him doing that whole big move with Mr. Beast was like he had nothing to lose because otherwise he was going home. So I think all these fantastic twists make it really unpredictable of who's gonna go.
Yes, and before we let you go, I would agree with you that I think everyone online is like hated the rock draw. They're like, it's all up to luck. But I would argue that like it keeps it from staying stale for exactly the reason you said. Like, you don't know who you're going to end up with. And it's not like it's it's not going to be season 51 with people that we've never seen before that have never played. It's people that have played this game before. So they're all here for a reason. So put them in an uncomfortable position and let's see who really is the best Survivor player that can get out of a tough jam. I don't want someone to walk to the end because they ended up with the right numbers and have, 4 stale episodes in a row because that alliance takes everyone out. Make people get uncomfortable. And I agree with you.
Does Ozzy's idol go back into play or no?
Well, it can't go back to Genevieve, I'll tell you that. She's gone.
No, but does it go back to somebody can find it?
It might.
We haven't seen them yet.
It's maybe only good for 1 more week. So who knows? In theory, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. And with that, we'll let you go, Mom, because I know you're on a time crunch. But this has been the episode.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Mom.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And now you're stuck with us.
Just us.
Just us. Except also Megan sent in a video while we were talking. So now we're going to cut to tea time with Megan.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Tea Time with Megan. Guys, this week we need to address the elephant in the room because I'm sure this has already been talked about in the podcast, but I have entered Exile Island this week. Ozzy was my last player and I now have no one, and if you ever watch any of our content, you guys know that Ozzy is my favorite Survivor player. I know he's not the best, but he's just my personal favorite, and so I'm really sad. So that's all I have to share on that. But because of that, I watched a lot of exit interviews with them. I really dug in because I needed to know what happened to my boy Ozzy, and in doing that, I also learned a lot about Emily too, because I had to watch both of them on all of these exit interviews. So let's get into this week's tea. So first, let's talk about Emily, because honestly, I kind of felt bad listening to her and Ozzy. Like, they both were so critical of their own games, and I was like, I kind of feel bad. It's like, you still made it far. Like, you still did a good job. So Emily was super harsh on herself. She said that, she was watching the TV yelling at herself, being like, Emily, shut your mouth. What are you doing? And she just, watching it back, she said it was really painful because she wanted to be better this time about not telling information unless it was needed and keeping it as I've heard players call it like that's your only currency, right? Is like information. And so she was trying to keep it to use it for different things. And she was like, and then watching it back, I did not do any of that. So they were kind of asking her, like, after you saw that, was there anything that you really felt guilty about? And she honestly said the thing that she felt the most guilty about was D. She didn't realize when when everyone turned on D was purely because she told Rizzo that, that D told her about the idol. So after all of that happened, and then she saw it on the episode play out, she, I guess, learned what a bigger impact it was than she realized on the island. She just kind of thought at the time, like, oh, D's a big threat. So she said she really felt the worst about that, and she and D have a good relationship, and, D didn't hold it against her. She was like, it's a game. It was a mistake, So she said there was no hard feelings, but she just felt the worst about that because she didn't even realize the damage that she was doing at the time. So that was all my tea on Emily. And now, like I said, my favorite, my buddy Ozzy. So similarly to Emily, Ozzy, when they asked him, about not playing his idol, if he blamed anyone, and he said he purely blamed himself. He said it was 100% my fault. He really said, like, that was his own doing. And he knew something was up and that he should have done it. And it was kind of interesting to see the two of them talk, because Emily was talking about all these little mistakes she made. Like, I wish I didn't tell this person this. I wish I didn't share this. But Ozzy was talking about how he really was proud of the game that he was playing, and then he just made this one mistake. And he said, I played a good game, but that's not good enough to win Survivor 50. So he was really sad about it. He also talked about, like, at the end of Tribal Council, you see he's like very emotional and like very, I almost thought it was like old Ozzy coming back. Old Ozzy would get super mad if like people went against him, and you could just tell like he almost like forgot it was a game. Like, if anyone's seen Micronesia, when he goes after Parvati like on the jury, I was thinking it was something like that, but he was talking about it after, and he said that going into this game, he in the past has played very solo. Right? Like, he just wins challenges. He doesn't build relationships. He's completely cut off. He's not very vulnerable. And he wanted to switch that this time and actually put more effort into meeting people and building those relationships. And so he said in doing that, he did a better job of being a vulnerable person, but it hurt that much more because he really thought that, like,
Thank you, Megan. Much appreciated. I don't know what was on it because I didn't get a chance to watch it before we recorded, but I bet
it was good.
I bet you it was good. It's always good. It's never not good. So it's time to do League Affairs. Let's start with the scoring place. All right. Here is less dicey than the other week, but the twist definitely created a conversation in the Skirker Finlayson household, I'll tell you that. So let's start with the obvious ones. Jonathan gets credit for winning individual immunity. Devins gets credit for playing a normal idol, although I think he loses 1 point technically for the action of not needing to play it. Well, this is going to be interesting because what you and I decide, Kyla, we have the same thought in our head. I can see it in your eyes. What you and I decide is going to change the standings live on air.
I mean, I think he should get credit because if not, he would have been one of the possibilities of being voted for. It was a 3-way tie.
Well, yeah, but if it was a 3-way tie, it would have. You think should we go rogue and change it live on air?
How many points do you get it if you needed it?
I'm going to look that up right now.
I'd say -1.
Okay, so we're back to what I was. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm changing it right now. So Devins is marked for losing his vote because it's -1. It does not feel right to say that it's the -2 penalty for not needing to play his idol because he did need to play it to be tied, but then you get into all these hypotheticals. So he's losing 1 point, not 2 points. And if you're upset about that, I don't care. Which means the standings are going to change dramatically in a second. So that's that. Jonathan gets points for finding and earning a non-idle advantage. Normally, with the non-idle advantages, which are just voting advantages, you get credit for finding it, and then like the specific advantage is like when you play it is worth a different amount of points because like some of them are more powerful than others. But he didn't really he didn't play an extra vote. So what we determined was that he just had two opportunities to vote with the majority.
Yeah.
So to pick up an extra majority voting point would have been like the equivalent of had he played like a block vote or something. So he gets credit for earning it, and then his credit for playing it, so to speak, is the opportunity to get multiple majority voting points, which he does. So in the spreadsheet, if you're deep into the spreadsheet, you're looking at it, you'll see that I think I marked him as tribe immunity. That's because that's what is that? 4
Equivalent.
points. It's 4 points, and voting with the majority is 2 points. So I couldn't put two X's there. It's a logistical thing. You don't need to know. He got credit for voting with the majority twice. Tiffany, Suri, Rizzo, Joe, and Aubrey all got credit for voting with the majority once. In those,
Big Jonathan episode.
yes, big Jonathan episode. And those are your scoring plays of the week. Kyla, can you share are you on the spreadsheet?
I sure am.
Can you share your screen?
I can.
Because we are going to talk about, just go to the front page. We're going to talk about the season standings. All right. So at the bottom for your season standings is Bree, because she is in Exile Islands with the Black Widow Brigade. Not that it's relevant because she's not tied with anyone, but what's listed there as her CV score or consistency doesn't take into account we would have stopped measuring the week she lost all her players. That includes a bunch of zeros. That's why it looks so high. But it's irrelevant because she's not tied, so I just never went back and fixed it. Kyla, you are in 27th.
Yep.
Same thing. That's not actually your CV score that's been locked. But you're not tied, so whatever. Then Kayla, then Tristan. All of you are in Exile Islands now. I did not have time to make the graphic, but for next week, we will do an Exile Island with anyone who is on Exile Islands.
Can't wait.
Yes, but it is Bree, Kyla, Kayla, and Tristan. Tristan, who at one point was in first place for like a couple weeks. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, I do remember that.
Not to harp on him, but yeah, now he's at 25th.
Are we the only 4 on Exile?
You are the only 4 on Exile that I remember.
Okay.
No, you're not. There's one more person. We'll get to her.
I was gonna say.
No, we'll get to her. We'll get to her. I am in 24th, which sucks, but I'm in triple digits now, and I've caught Kyla, which is what I really needed to do.
Yes.
So I don't think I'm going to catch the next person probably, but who knows? Anything can happen. So I'm in 24th. Anne is in 23rd. Anne also had been doing well like I had at one point a lifelong ago. Mulcahy is in 22nd. Sharon is in 21st. Brian is in 20th. Nora is in 19th. Mikey is in 18th. Loomis in 17th. Scott in 16th. And Matt in 15th. That's the bottom half. Now we go to the top half. Starting the top half in 14th is Kelsey. Then Megan. Now Megan is also on Exile Island, but she's so far up there because she had been doing so great with Ozzy and Steph and Christian for a while that it's going to take her a while. So I don't know.
Way to show out for Exile, Megan.
Yeah, forget everyone else in the league, but I don't know if I can beat Megan because she's got such a head start. I'd like to, but who knows? Alex.
Jonathan keeps it up. Maybe you can.
Yeah, who knows? Alex is in 12th. Christina is in 11th. Greg is in 10th. Ryan Shiring in 9th. V in 8th. Heidi, who was just on, is in 7th. Jazz is in 6th. Emily E is in 5th. Pat Shiring in 4th. which means we have a very big shakeup in the top 3. Smith has fallen from first to third, but still quite good for his average performance because he's usually terrible. Then Drew in second, and Brenna in first. Brenna, I think, was in last at one point. Well, no, no one was in last the whole time.
We're
Brenna was in
close
second
to
to
it.
last at one point, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's done great.
Now, let's talk about Kyla, you and I, to stir up drama, since Bree's not here to do it.
Yeah.
Who, well, I was going to say, assuming it's not us. We know it's not us. There's no, I haven't done the math, but there's got to be no way I can win. You cannot win. Bree cannot win. She's not here, but she definitely can't win.
Yeah.
Who in the league that's not us, which is easy because it can't be us, would you like to see win?
Would I like to see win or who I think can win?
No, well, obviously who can win is like the top 10 people, let's say. But who would you like to see win? Give me like 3 people. I'm not going to make you pick one.
Well, the problem is I don't know some of these people up in the top.
That's perfect.
But I do kind of like the idea of Brenna winning. But I don't like that Greg's gonna like it.
It's quite the catch-22.
But you're gonna put in the Greg video, right?
I'm gonna overlay it. I would have already overlaid it with your reactions.
I think that Brenna needs to come in and distance herself from her husband, and we'll all cheer her on.
I think she needs to do that for a lot of reasons.
But other than that, I really like Ryan Shiring's been doing great. I think it's cool for a newcomer to win. That's fun, you know. That's always cool. It's also can create great hate for next season. So
we're all about hate.
like you just come in here and think you're running everything, you know?
Only if the next season they do terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like how last episode Bree was just like, one of the Shirings. So it's like, you know. It's like,
I don't know if this is mean. I don't know if I'm allowed to have an opinion, to be honest. I don't want a new person to win it just because I want to feel like to be in the league for multiple years, like you can learn a little bit about it. Like it's not so easy that you can come in with 3 people blindly and just end up beating everyone that clearly cares way too much about this, like me. But that is probably what's going to happen. I'll say this. To my knowledge, Drew is a big Survivor fan, and so is Pat Shiring. Both Shirings are, so I wouldn't be upset if there were a new person won and it was them. I selfishly would like Smith to win just because it's one, he's a Patrick, so I feel like Greg is going to claim Brenna's victory. I'm going to claim if any of the Patricks win, I'm going to claim it. And also he's been doing it since the beginning. My mom, obviously, if she wins, I could claim that victory, but I don't think she can. And also, God save us if she beats Greg and wins. Yeah, we'll see. I'd end up being happy with anyone. I don't know that I want Christina to win, not because I don't like Christina. I love Christina. I want to make that very clear. I love Christina, and I love that she plays. And she didn't watch before last season, and now she's like way too hard into it, like the rest of us. And I love that. I don't think it's time yet for the league to have a repeat winner. I think that can start happening next year. Build a franchise. That being said, it would be interesting to have our first repeat winner, so I won't even be that upset.
Well, if Christina wins, then Megan is Bill Belichick. I'll just tell you that right now. Okay, we have a running joke on this podcast about how Megan has built Christina's team.
I think Mikey has a running complaint that he feels like he built Christina's team.
Well, me and Megan made some allusions to it in the past as well.
That shows you how much I've been listening to everyone talk.
Right. So if Christina is the greatest quarterback of all time, Megan might be Bill Belichick.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Which would mean that without Christina, Megan's nothing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Cut this out of the podcast. Never mind, Megan. I didn't mean to insult you.
All right. Stay sharing though, because I'm live changing.
Oh yeah, I just see it.
Just scroll over to the weekly awards. We'll do it live. F it, we'll do it live. So, your Have the Numbers award just now updated with the Devon's change. Drew, Ryan Shiring, and Alex all have the numbers this week, scoring
Nice.
21, 21, and 19 points respectively. Now, so we move on to the bottom of the tribe. Even with the change to Devon's score, there are 3 people that have actually scored worse than both Kyla and Bree. And that's pretty impressive because Kyla and Bree haven't had a person on their team for weeks. We actually have 3 people that scored negative this week, which is Mikey, Megan, and Tristan.
I didn't know it could be that bad.
Yeah, well, so I think Megan and Tristan both went to exile this week, and I think they were both down to just Ozzy, who didn't get any immunity or advantage points.
Mm.
He did not vote with a majority, obviously. And you lose points for leaving with an idol in your pocket. And the reason that rule exists is because of season 46 when like 5 people did that in a row. It was like that happens. Clearly it happens, so we have to have a thing, and it hasn't happened since then until now. So
Leave it to Ozzy.
Yeah. So thanks to Ozzy. Emily E is your most consistent. That stays. Your least consistent is still Megan, so that stays. Now we have to give a hearty "That's how you do it" on Survivor.
Aye, oh, let's go. Aye, oh, let's go. Aye.
And it is still going to go to Ryan Shiring, who climbed 8 spaces. I guess the Devons thing didn't change that much. The rest of these are all the same. Because a final, taking your Flint, goes out to Megan, who dropped 5 spots. Again, Megan, Tristan, and Kayla will, in addition to Kyla and Bree, not be eligible for awards next week.
Yeah.
You can stop.
Wasn't there an earlier episode where Megan just was getting all the bad awards for a few episodes in a row?
Yeah, well, it was things like not being consistent, which worked out well for a while. But yeah.
No more awards, Megan.
No more awards for you. No awards for you. All right, so this is where we normally do Bree superlatives, but Bree is not here. She's on an aforementioned planning and logistics call with Christina, actually. So let's do a game, Kyla, because we never play games anymore. You ready?
I'm nervous. So yeah, I'm ready.
We are gonna go through the league, and we're gonna say who we would make a hero or a villain if we were to do a heroes versus villains of the league.
Our people.
Yes, of our people. So there's there's 28. We're gonna have 14 and 14, and we're not really gonna have time to discuss every single one.
You're gonna be counting?
I am gonna be counting. Hold on. Let me take a note. Hero.
I'll create a little Excel file.
No, I'm gonna keep track physically. Use pen and paper. God, I sound like my dad. All right. All right. So let's go down. You want to go up or down the leaderboard?
Up or down the leaderboard? Let's go down to up. Did that make sense?
No, that actually made it so much more confusing for me. Do you want to start with Bree or do you want to start with Brenna?
Start with Bree.
Okay.
Down to up.
That's so going up. Okay. Now I know what I'm putting you. Bree, hero or villain?
I feel like Bree's kind of like a Sari. She's hard to peg down.
I I would put her as hero, and not just because she's my fiance and I feel like I have to. I feel like she's kind of like Rupert, and Rupert's like the biggest sweetheart ever. But if you also remember, Rupert starts his very first season by stealing all of the shoes of the like tribe he's going against and selling them in the town to get money. That's real. Go watch the first episode
It is real.
of Pearl Islands. It's incredible. So, and she's kind of like she could do that, but he's a hero, so I'm gonna go with hero.
I would go with hero too.
Kyla, be honest. What would you give yourself?
Um, I don't know, Pat, you tell me.
I'm gonna say villain.
Really?
Yeah, just because I think you wouldn't be all hung up like Joe would be about like, "Oh, I gotta lie in this game. All right, like let's get to work."
I'd be friends with everyone.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be a villain like Johnny Fairplay. Like you wouldn't be coming out to like lie about your grandmother being dead to everyone. But like you just like you would be willing to do like what Savannah does.
Yeah, I
You'd be
would
that.
be. I'd play a little friends with everyone, but yeah, I'm okay with lying.
Yes. So I think you'd be a villain, but not like a villain like a bad person. Just like you'd be okay doing what you had to do. Kayla, I don't really know too much about her, but because her tribe name is in binary, I feel like I have to put hero.
Yeah, let's do that. I don't know too much either.
Tristan.
I don't know Tristan either.
All right, we'll say hero.
We're
Three
gonna get
heroes.
a lot of heroes.
Well, here's the caveat. It's gonna have to be even. I'm making us do 14 and 14. That's why I'm keeping score.
Yeah, I'm keeping score too.
All right, but don't
This is
worry,
gonna
the
be
next one's
difficult.
me. I'd like to be a hero, but everyone's gonna say villain, so I'm just gonna throw myself in the I'll throw myself in the fire now.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
I
You
think
gotta
I'd be
be
a
a
bad
villain.
villain though, because I'd get too excited about the lie, and not like I was excited to lie to someone. I'd it would be funny. Like I'd be like, I can't believe we're getting away with this, and then I'd be a tell and I'd give it up.
You'd still be annoying in that villain sort of way, you know,
Yeah,
like, oh, he
my
thinks he's getting away with it.
I'd give confessionals like Tyson gives, where he's like really rude about people, but not to their face. But
Yeah.
when it's just me and the camera, I'd be like, can you believe that person's teeth? Yeah, so I'd be a villain. Um, and I'd fall victim to like when Charlie tried to make it take something personal and he got too laser focused on Rizzo.
Oh, yeah. Do
That
you
would
think
happen
you'd
to
do
me.
that?
Yeah, I'd have a problem with that. I'd be like, that person slighted me, and then I'd lose track of the game. And
I assume Anne's a very nice lady, but I don't
yes,
know her too well.
yeah, we'll give Anne a hero. Mulcahy,
He can be a
villain.
villain.
Yeah, villain. Sharon,
I mean, she's got to be a hero.
you think?
You think she's a villain?
Ah, her go-to drink is Captain Morgan and Di Serono and Diet Coke.
You think that's a villain drink?
I don't think it's a hero drink. No ice.
I just think she's so nice, though.
Yeah, but the first time I met her and Scott, we went bowling, and Scott bowled so hard that he fell over in the lane, and Sharon did not help him up. She turned around and asked for another drink.
Okay. Well, it wasn't me, Sharon. It was your
No, I'll
future
take the heat.
son-in-law.
I'm gonna get a text about that one later. Brian?
I'm assuming Brian can be a villain,
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna go villain. Was
yeah,
that five villains?
I started counting ahead, so I'm a little ahead on villains.
Oh my God, hold on. It was one, two,
I think
three,
we're at
four.
4.
We're at four. We're at four. We're at 4 and 4.
Yeah.
Nora.
You know Nora better than me, but I'm
I'm gonna
assuming.
I'm gonna say hero. She's a
Okay.
public defender,
Okay. What does that
so
mean?
she like defends like her job as she works for
Oh, her
the
job.
her town.
I thought you meant she's just like a public defender.
I'm
She
just classifying
defends.
people in arbitrary genres. Yeah.
She defends the
I
public.
was like, I didn't know. I was like, oh, I guess you don't I was like,
She-
if I knew it, I was sure you knew it.
She's secretly waiting at home for her bat call, defending the
Yes.
public.
Yeah.
That's exactly what went through my brain.
Yeah.
The next one we both know.
Yeah, but we have to say it for
Mikey,
logistical purposes. Mikey,
you're
villain.
a villain.
Moving it on. And if you're upset about it, Mikey, look in the goddamn mirror.
I think he knows.
He has to know. If I was willing to put myself and Sharon there, you better believe Mikey's in the villain category.
Even I'm a villain, Mikey. Even
yeah.
me.
Loomis.
I think he's got to be a hero.
Yeah. He's a guidance counselor. So that tracks.
Everyone's getting judged on their occupation.
Scott, hero.
Yeah, hero.
And I'm not saying this to make fun of him because I think it's a genuinely endearing quality and it's very adorable. But he has like he's given us a card for a holiday, and there's been a tear in it because he teared up while he was writing the card. So it is adorable, but he has to be a hero for that reason. There's no way. He spends his whole morning feeding birds in their backyard. He's like a Mary Poppins. He's got to be a hero. Matt. That's a hard one to pin down.
Yeah, Matt's elusive. Can we come back to him?
Yeah, we'll come back to Matt. Kelsey.
See, Kelsey can be tricky though.
Yes.
I think she has the potential to be strategic, and
I could see
we'll
her
go behind.
being a little sneaky.
Yeah, I could see her
A
being
little
sneaky.
sneaky as Kelsey would
Yeah.
probably say. So we'll call her villain.
I'm going villain. Megan, hero.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't like him, she's a hero.
Yeah.
Wait, you know what I mean?
No, I knew what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex is a villain for sure.
Okay.
For his sake, I won't elaborate.
Okay. I don't know you, Alex, but Pat thinks highly of you.
Christina.
Villain.
Yeah. I just needed someone else to bite that bullet for me.
Actually, the villains are coming pretty easy.
Yeah,
Greg?
I want to make it very clear. I love Christina. She is the best, but villain. If you think Christina and I, if we could give confessionals together, oh my God, that'd be the whole show.
Christina can be savage in like the best way possible.
Oh yeah,
love her for it.
We have to get her to watch a season with Tyson. I feel like she'd really love Tyson. Greg,
villain,
easy. Ryan Shiring.
I don't know him. I'm assuming a hero. I don't know this.
I'll say hero. Mostly because we're running out of filming spots.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be the opposite. V's a hero.
Oh, V is a hero for sure. My mom. You weren't there, but at my 30th, you can. So I'm clearly leading you a certain way, but I'll let you decide. I'll let you make the call. At my 30th birthday, it was a survivor-based birthday, and Bree planned the whole thing and planned all these games. It was incredible. The first game was a capture the flag scenario where it was like front of the house, back of the house, and we had these beach balls we had to hide, and to limit the length of the game, everyone wore like flag football flags. And the first thing, my mom was on my team, and she comes around front, and this might have been Bree's fault. She didn't clarify this, and we said, well, if Bree didn't say it, then she would have said it. She would have thought of everything, surely. But my mom came up with, Bree never said we couldn't deflate the beach ball and hide it under something. And also, if you're a woman, roll up your flags and put them in the front because it's too uncomfortable for any of the men to reach for them.
Yeah, see,
and I think she put Jenna in a bush, so villain.
Yeah, she can be savage. I think she's competitive.
Yes.
And she doesn't want the bull crap.
No, she doesn't. I think she'd be okay with that. Jazz?
I don't know Jazz, but
I'm gonna say hero because the clip she sent me for the intro was her holding her cat.
Oh.
Which is adorable.
Sweet.
Emily E.
What would you say, Pat? I
could see her going equally. At first, you would say hero, no doubt. But knowing Emily, I could say villain, but I think she's kind of like Bree in that way, where she's kind of like a Rupert. So we'll go hero, but Emily should know that she's on thin ice, I think.
The other Shiring.
I kind of want to split them up just because that would be fun.
Yeah, we can't have them be
Split 'em
together.
up.
All right,
All right,
villain.
yep, done. Villain. Smith.
Smith. I don't really know Smith.
Smith. I love Smith. Sometimes he can be a little aloof. Specifically
So
within
you're
the
going
game of
villain?
Survivor, where he forgets that it was on for like 2 weeks. He's like, oh yeah, I got to catch up. So that's not really villain energy, I feel like.
Yeah.
I want
You
to
think
say
it's
hero.
hero? Okay, you think it's
He's
hero
kind of like a little
energy?
golden retriever.
Okay, and if anyone is not keeping up, we have 3 more spots.
Yes, we
2
have
for
Matt, we
villain,
have
1 for
Brenna, and we have
hero.
Drew.
Yeah.
Drew, I think, is for sure a villain
Okay. Well,
based
there
on
you
his
go.
based on his Danny McBride like mustache alone.
Now, between Brenna and Matt, this is the showdown.
Oh, that's hard. I think Brenna's a villain because I think not to the extent that Christina and I would cut loose in the in the confessionals. I think Brenna would also like Brenna would be very judgmental about other people, not in a bad way, like I'm judging them for who they are, but like she would if someone made a dumb move, like if she were on the island with Jonathan and he spoke, she would have the reaction that like Savannah has.
Yeah, I could see myself doing that too.
Right. So I think she would give like some Camilla like confessionals where she'd be like, listen, if they want to run themselves over, I'm happy to drive the bus. Like that's and I think Matt would
Yeah.
just be like,
Uh,
whatever.
yeah.
Matt would be like, oh, we're at a challenge. And then he'd finish it without really trying because he's so tall. And then he'd just go about his way. He's a gentle giant. So Matt, I think, is going to be our last hero, and Brenna's going to be our last villain, which means the hero tribe, I believe. Did you write down their names or you just do tallies?
No, I wrote it down.
Oh, thank God. So I just did tallies. Can you tell us who the hero tribe is?
Yeah, I'm going to start from the top of the leaderboard. We have Smith, Emily E, Jazz, V, Ryan Shiring, Megan, Matt, Scott, Loomis, Nora, Anne, Tristan, Kayla, and Bree.
That's a good tribe. That's a very sweet, wholesome tribe. The villain
Yeah, they're the
tribe
heroes.
would be sorry. Oh my God. Oh, moving has broken my brain. That's a very sweet heroes tribe. The villain tribe would be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, let's run that down. Brenna, Drew, Pat Shiring. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. Pat Shiring. That one's hard to say. Heidi, Greg, Christina, Alex, Kelsey, Mikey, Brian, Sharon, Mulcahy. Let's set it right. Skirker, and myself.
I feel like people may not like it, but hearing those back, I feel like we did a really good job sorting people.
I'm fine with it.
I
Listen, I know that I could be a villain and I could be a hero when I want to.
I think so much reality TV that like I think you watch enough of like 90 Day like we have, which I'll admit, like you can't be a hero. Like you know too many different like avenues of like how to be nasty. Like you're not a nasty person, but like you've seen enough crazy characters that you're like you can't.
And that's why I think Kelsey's on the villain tribe too, because Kelsey is so sweet. But I know what she watches on Bravo because I watch it too. Like, and you can't really be that sweet and watch that trash.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
you can't know who Gino and Jasmine are and be a hero. That's except for Bree. That's for sure.
Except for Bree. Bree is the
Yes.
exception.
Yeah,
Yes.
join us for our 90 day before the 90 day happily ever after fantasy.
And there are Pat and Kyla superlatives that are not as good as Bree superlatives.
But we had fun, and there will be backlash, I'm sure. And I welcome it to go to Kyla and not me. So, do you have any last minute confessionals? I feel like we just did a long confessional.
No, I really don't this week. Like you said, it was a lot of like drama this week, which I do like. But I'm interested to see what comes next week. Let's do another twist. Let's do something wild.
Let's
I like it.
let's do that, Survivor. All right. I don't have anything to say else either. I'm excited for the next episode. I'm not excited for it to be over.
Yeah, because then we have a long
Yeah, the
time.
summer break's always the worst.
Yeah.
If you watched 15 seasons of Survivor in 60 days, Kyla, you're gonna watch every episode twice during the summer. It's so long.
Yeah, but I don't have anything to prep for except
Mm.
for my own viewership. Whereas this one, I was, prepping for strategy, which obviously didn't do me much good.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
You might have oversaturated your brain, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say this before we leave. I heard a rumor, and by heard a rumor, I mean it was on Twitter, so that's probably not true at all. But allegedly, Survivor 51, which is in the middle or the end of filming right now, that's true. Is 20 people? No, wait, how many do we have? 24 to start? 20 people, and starting with 2 tribes of 10.
Oh,
I
old
don't
school.
know. Yes, which is exciting. I don't know how that information would have been put out there.
Leaked.
Yeah, so like I couldn't speak to the validity, but some of the people that have tweeted it are the people that have like real Survivor like
Connects.
I don't know how to say that without sounding like I know a guy who knows a guy, but like the people that I generally go to see if rumors are like real rumors or just someone making stuff up that they thought of had acknowledged it. So we'll see. Exciting, potentially. All right. This has been the League of Spoken, episode 29. Sorry it's late, but we were too busy celebrating our mothers. Shout out to my mom and Sharon and Anne and Brenna. And
The mothers in the league. Yeah, I think those are all the mothers.
And Bree, because when we were at the cooking class, was it yesterday? Oh my God, it's been a long 2 days. 4 different people came up to Bree and told her Happy Mother's Day. And Bree didn't know what
I didn't know where that was going. I was like, where is this going?
Oh yeah, no. Bree would be like, Happy Mother's Day to like one of the moms that were there. And I'd be like, oh, thanks, you too. And she was like, well, no.
That's funny.
I wanted to work that in. All right. Bye, everyone.